Okay, now we're live. So nice, solid 20 minutes late, just what I like on these streams. So it's El Supersonic Q. Welcome to the LSSQCast for Saturday, March 25th, 2017. And yeah, thanks for holding tight with those technical difficulties. So literally what happened is, so I've been editing a video like for pretty much the whole day, okay? This is a really cool video. It should be out sometime next week because like I might even finish editing it tonight because it's just I really want to get it done. So I was editing that for like a few hours before the stream or whatever. My computer was plugged in and I'm like, all right, this is going to be really good because I can charge the computer while I edit the video and that's being productive, so I don't have to keep it plugged in while I stream. So right as I'm like, all right, got to go set up for the stream, I unplug my computer, I go to the bathroom, take my 3DS because I have the topics on my 3DS and everything. I'm like, all right, so I'm all in order and stuff. The second I sit down to go live, it straight up dies. And it doesn't make sense because it was at like 48%. So I didn't know what to do. I'm like, well, what the heck? So I had to sit and wait for it to boot up for a good like 5 minutes. It just sat in like the loading phase to sign in to the computer for like 5 minutes. Then when I got on, like, your clock is wrong. And I'm like, well, why do I need my clock fixed to go up to the internet? So I type in a random date and time, like, who cares? It's not going to matter. And then I fix the clock, and it's like, well, we can't establish a secure connection with Google. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't? So my brother's like, oh, yeah. Did you fix the clock? And I'm like, yeah, I fixed the clock. It's, I just threw in a random time. Like, what does that matter? He's like, well, you have to set the right date and the time or else the computer won't connect to Google and the internet. I'm like, what? Like, if I typed in like an 80s date or something, it wouldn't connect to Google because it thinks it's like the 1980s. Like, what a backwards, stupid, dumb thing this, the computer has. So he fixed the clock or whatever. Then it connected to the internet. Then I had to find the stream again. Then I had to go live. And now this is where we are. So yeah, that was a story with that. We got some topics this week. They're not the most interesting of topics because not a lot happened this week, but it is something. And I'm not sure if we're going to do call-ins tonight. I know last week I said that we probably were, but I don't know if I feel like it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works or whatever. I guess with that said, that we can kind of jump into the topics to some extent. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little more casual this week, just because I don't feel like getting super duper like, okay, guys, topic number one, blah blah blah. So I mentioned that I have a video. Okay, this is actually, we could kind of jump into the topics because Lost Cartoon Pilots is actually what the video I'm working on right now is about, and it actually was what the video from last week or whatever was on, the Meso Blues thing. So yeah, Lost Cartoon Pilots, the video I'm working on right now, is a really, really cool video because it's something that I didn't even know I was interested in until like late last year. And I had known about it for a while, but like ever since I had really invested myself into it, I'm like super duper interested in it now. It's a really good video. And I haven't been doing Lost Media for too long. Well, yeah, I haven't even been doing it for 2 years. I think spring of 2015 was when I first started really doing it. So it hasn't even been 2 years yet. But I would say I have contributed to quite a lot of things. I've found quite a lot of things and stuff. And of course, my experience is always kind of growing with that. But so far from what I've seen with Lost Media stuff, I guess maybe not even counting a day with or I should say, even counting a day with SpongeBob, I've never seen media that has become more lost than this. And this is a cartoon pilot. I've never seen like a cartoon pilot be shrouded in so much mystery, be so lost, so unable to be found as this is. I am just so blown away with the amount of effort I've gone to find it. And literally, I've come up like pretty much totally empty-handed every single time. I'm just floored by how empty-handed, I've come up. So, unfortunately, the solution of this video, I don't want to spoil it like too much and talk about exactly what it is, but like ultimately the point that the video makes and the message that it gets across is that this is a really, really, really lost pilot, and I'm not even sure if it still exists. It might be gone forever, but that remains to be seen. Hopefully when the video comes out, well, obviously you guys can maybe learn more about it, and maybe the word will spread. Maybe some other people who might know something will get kind of tipped off, and pass on some knowledge or something about it, because it's something that I'd really like to see found. I really want to watch it and find it and stuff. But like my search efforts, they just haven't been working, and I don't know, because I'm not really doing anything wrong, because most of the time when I follow this search method, it usually yields some kind of result, But in this case, it's literally just like, good luck, try to find someone else, and it's not really a very good search. So that's that video coming later this week and stuff. But Meso Blues. So Meso Blues was a video that I wanted to make that for a really long time, probably as far back as I'm trying to think about what's that video that I have where I don't remember the video that it was specifically. But it was, what's that video? Oh, it may have been the Mario RPG plush video. I think where at the beginning I show and like TV becomes lost, movies become lost, video games become lost, but can plushes become lost? I think as far back as that video, so like summer of last year, I wanted to do a video talking about Meso Blues, because I think it was one of the first lost media things I knew about. Like I don't know how, but it's something that like echoes back to the Kablam episode 29 era and stuff. So it was something I had known about, and I wanted to do a video on it, because I feel like it's a pretty, I don't know if you want to say like classic. I wouldn't really call it classic, but like it's one of those things that people want to see because it's interesting, but there's really no way to get it. It's just like, we know it still exists, and that it still takes a form, because we've seen it in the Johnny Bravo like DVD thing, and we know that Van Partible has it, but just like it's not released. We can't see it whenever, and we don't know if it's going to be released. So that in itself is like its own kind of special entity. And I thought that was really cool for Lost Media. Like, oh, this is something that like people want to see, but like we might not be able to see it. So I thought that was really cool, and it's Johnny Bravo and stuff as well. So I'm like, all right, this video has to get done at some point. I want to talk about it. And I finally did it, got it done. So I think it's a pretty good video, all things considered. It didn't just copy from the Lost Media Wiki article, because that's what I try and do too when I do Lost Media videos. And I've talked about this before, where I really want my videos in general to like deliver a point or a message. Like I want a reason to make a video. That was very apparent with the Ed and Eddie Lost pilot. The whole point of that video was to highlight the journey that I went on through the fandom to truly uncover whether or not this pilot was real or not from the unverified sources I had seen online. And that was the point of that video. So kind of, the Johnny Bravo one, the Meso Blues, the point of that video was kind of just to highlight, this is Lost Media. Like it exists, but we're not going to see it. And yeah, I think it's a pretty cool video. So I think more Lost Media stuff to talk about. I do have more, stuff in the pipeline, of course. Like that's something that I really like doing, is the Lost Media videos, especially the cartoon pilots, because I do get a lot of requests to do, specific like Lost Media things to talk about in a mystery video. But a lot of the times, the topics that I choose to talk about, I choose for a reason, and there's like a point behind why I want to make them. So it's a little hard when someone just gives me a random suggestion. It's kind of hard for me to really get interested in that, like on a deep level where it would really, make me want to push out a video. Like I have gotten some good ideas and stuff, and like, especially within the past few months, I would say, there's been a lot of turnover with scripts and how I write them and stuff. Like I would have an idea, I'd write it. I wouldn't come back to it for a couple months, but like just like now, I would go back and rework or re-edit a script that I had going, several months ago that I'm like, this video is never going to get done. So recently I've been seeing a lot of turnover with that. So definitely the ideas that people give me and stuff, I'm always thinking about ways to reuse content and recycle content in a good way. For example, I mentioned like a Mystery of series spinoff. And when I said that, I was thinking of a totally different idea that I had in my head at the time than what I'm going for now. But what happened is between when I mentioned that, I had an idea for a video that I didn't really know how it would fit in with my channel. Um, but then I thought of other videos that could kind of relate to that one original video. And I'm like, well, this is all kind of like a spin-off. And that reminds me of the time I mentioned a spin-off series. So this idea from months ago that had nothing to go on when I originally announced it, now it's becoming a full spin-off series, and that's really cool. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. As well as the hype surrounding the I was a teenage Gary deleted scene. When I made that video, I made it because, and this is kind of a thing too. Back when I made that video, it was a year ago, and I was on the Lost Media Wiki, and in the little Shout Mix chat box, someone said like, I don't even know, something along the lines of like a deleted SpongeBob scene with Squidward transforming, and it caught my intrigue because I'm like, a deleted SpongeBob scene, Squidward transforming. Because for me, I thought I had heard about that before. It rang a bell, and I'm like, that's interesting. And I believe that was actually, that was, I think, I want to say it was like late summer of last year or something. Like it was definitely, or no, it would have been late summer of 2015. Yeah, that sounds right. And then it took me a few months to make the video because I believe the video actually released in January. So between that amount of time, it piqued my interest enough where I wanted to research and do a video about it. But that was just because I was interested about it and stuff. But I never would have thought that a year later, that video would be sitting at close to 100,000 views because it's really not even that good of a mystery, in my opinion. Like, I was interested in it at the time, and then once stuff came out about it that it was fake and people were misremembering, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You'd think that would be the end of it. Like Kablam. When Kablam episode 29 rumor was a thing, it was a pretty big discussion point, and the videos that I made were getting decent amounts of views for their time when that was a big topic. But nowadays, episode 29 is debunked. It's not real. And a lot of those videos don't really get a lot of views anymore to any extent. But for some reason, this teenage Gary video has been getting thousands of views like for the past few days. And I'm like, why? Like, it was debunked. Like, what's the intrigue with this anymore? So it must just be something that I'm missing, maybe because it's such an old topic to me. But like I get tons of comments of people going back and forth about why it exists and why it doesn't. Maybe that's the thing about it, is that this kind of lost media interests and stuff, it's different than Kablam. Kablam is a small fan base, and the way in which it was debunked was pretty self-explanatory. Mark Merrick himself did what he did with it. But for SpongeBob, I guess just the fan base is so much bigger that information spreads at a slower rate. And the source that I have debunking it was like a Reddit post, which I did doubt for a time, but then after I looked at it harder and I'm like, okay, this is legit. So showing that to people, they don't believe it. They want to believe their own things. It's a really weird kind of like clashing of ideas, but I guess that is like, I guess that's the difference between that and Kablam episode 29. But I just think it's kind of weird how my video is getting like tons of views. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna complain about it because, like, okay, like more views is more exposure, more everything, which is actually kind of a point I kind of want to make, is that I've been getting a lot of subs. I'm not sure if it's just from that video, because I have seen huge increases in some of my other videos too. The 3 Men pilot episode, edited anything, that got, I want to say, close to like 1,000 views in like a week or so. Maybe a little bit more than that. And I've seen the view counts just go up by a couple hundred on some of my other videos too. So I guess kind of what I'm saying is that, like, I'm coming up to 3K subs pretty quickly. I remember back last year, Social Blade was predicting my subs for around this time of year were going to be like 3K. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like, Social Blade sucks. And for some odd reason, Social Blade ended up being correct, and I'm pretty close to 3,000 subs. Of course, I think that was just all coincidence. There's no way they could have known that a video of mine was going to blow up. And of course, I bet if I go to look now, they're going to project my subs to be, double or triple what it is now in like even less time, which, I still question Social Blade and all that stuff. But like, what I'm saying is that it's really cool. I'm coming up on my 8-year anniversary in a couple days. I wanted 3,000 subs by April 8th. The 3,000 subs by April 8th, I think, is definitely going to happen. And if I continue to get subs at the rate I have been for the past few days, if I continue that rate up until March 29th, then I will have 3,000 subs for my 8-year anniversary, which is really cool. So I'll definitely hit one of my goals with the April benchmark. And I might even hit the March one. So that would be really cool too. I don't think I'm doing anything special for my YouTube anniversary. Just because I've never really been able to do like time-sensitive videos and like videos, that like have to come out at a specific date. That's why I don't really have any like holiday specials and stuff. And like that Luigi's Mansion Mystery of video, that would have been a great Halloween video, but I didn't feel like doing it or I didn't have the idea to do it until like November. I think it was, did it come out early November or late November? I think it was like late November. So like, I'm just not a fan of like time videos. So I don't even have anything to really do for a channel anniversary. I might make some kind of a video just, and like just saying I have 3,000 subs just because it is kind of a cool thing to mention. But I mean, otherwise, yeah, I don't think I really have anything planned specifically for that. And like April Fool's Day, I was going to do an April Fool's Day video, but like I have so much better content I could be doing that I don't even want to spend the time on an April Fool's Day video. And there is more content in the works aside from just mystery videos, but of course it is a big part of the channel now. I'm thinking of other stuff I have going on. After this video, I'm not sure if I have any other cartoon pilot stuff that I'm currently working on. Okay, I'm thinking right now. I have a couple other ideas, but I haven't started on them. So after this video, the cartoon pilot stuff might take a back seat for a couple weeks because there is some new clay, not video game clay figure models, unfortunately, but there is some new clay in general. Though most people might not care about that, but I'm still going to post it. And the Mystery of spinoff should be the next thing that happens. Before that, though, there might be an update to the Kelly Toy Chowder and Flapjack video. I'm not going to say anything else here about that in case you guys don't know what's been going on with that. But I wrote out a script for that a few days ago. It would be pretty easy to put together, I think. So that might be the next video because I want to get that out as soon as I can. And the people I contacted, I don't think are going to get back to me. And if they do, I doubt they're going to have any reliable information. So that might be the next video. We'll probably hit some Mystery of spinoffs down the way. And then the clay. And then at that point, I should have some more pilot stuff written. And a big Animal Crossing video coming maybe early summer. But I'm still like, that is going to be like a 90-minute video or something crazy. So that's a really far out there video, because that's another thing too when I do my videos is that I feel like I work better doing videos when I do it all in one shot. And I don't mean write a script in one day and edit in one day and record in one day, but I mean like I don't mean doing all that in one day, like starting a video and finishing a video in one day, but I mean writing the entirety of a script in one day, doing all the audio in one day, doing all the picture editing in one day. I like doing it like that. And the issue with the Animal Crossing video is that like I would have to spend several days on the script, several days editing, several days recording. It's going to be a very lengthy process, and that kind of directly conflicts with how I do videos. So that's why it's a little bit more of a struggle, but I think that will come because I would like to do some lengthier videos. I've always been a fan of shorter videos, though, not only with my own content, but just in general on YouTube. Like, I don't know. I would much rather watch like several 5 or 10-minute videos rather than like one really long, like 40-minute video. That's just me. I do like watching long videos. Sometimes I do just want one long video I can just sit and watch for, a really long time. So that I don't have to go and look for other stuff to watch. But generally speaking, shorter videos are more my thing. And I think having a channel, not that I intentionally make videos short. Like if the 3-Man pilot was 10 minutes or say 20 minutes, like so be it. And if any video I'm working on now, if it's just like a pilot, like if Meso Blues was 10 minutes, if there was 10 minutes of stuff to talk about, like, okay. But I do think that doing shorter videos kind of catches, I don't want to say catches the casual eye more, but, it's more like, oh, okay, what's this? Unreleased concept of Johnny Bravo. It's only 5 minutes. Yeah, let's watch it. Let's see what it's about. That's kind of what I think about when I do videos. And like I said, it just fits so much better in with my doing certain portions all in one day. Because if I had a video that was like 20 minutes long, I probably wouldn't be able to edit all that in one day. Yeah, obviously, which is one of the issues, as I said. But when I have these 5-minute videos, which just end up being short just because they end up being short, it works a lot better because I can just get stuff done in one day. So, I thought I was going to say something else somewhere in there about videos, but maybe that was it. So I guess we kind of started at the bottom of the lineup tonight with the Lost Media cartoon stuff, and we'll work our way up probably. Yeah, what time is it? Oh, it's 7:40. Well, I did start really late. I guess if this goes over, if this goes over like 10 o'clock, or not 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I guess that's fine because I did start late, so technically we should be going later anyway. But I'm just thinking about editing my video, but I guess it's fine if I don't jump right on editing it after this because I have all night to edit, I guess, and whatever. I've edited at like 4 in the morning before, so knowing me, I probably won't be able to sleep soundly until I get the video done, which has happened before. I've just like thought about videos so hard. I'm like, oh, I have to edit this. I think the Starfy video was actually something like that, where I had like a lot of the visuals and stuff, and I'm like, all right, I have the visuals, I did the audio, like I'll just edit it in the morning, like no worries. Then I just like sleep and I'm just thinking about it, like I'm like, oh, like okay, have all like the pictures, like let me think about the timings in my head. I have to think about what video I'm going to get the visuals for, like the Starfy commercials and stuff. I got to think about that, and then it just kept me up enough where I had to go edit the video. But anyway, moving on. Let me see what other topics I have. Yeah, okay, so I really don't want to talk about collectibles. Maybe I'll just hit upon this really kind of quick because I don't really have a lot to say about it. I don't really want to talk about collectibles a whole lot just because I haven't really been into them lately for some reason. I don't know, but this did happen. So, World of Nintendo, Jack's Pacific toy line. Some of you guys might know the guy from the subreddit as well as Twitter. I think his username was Toy Soldiers 18, and he was the head designer developer on the World of Nintendo line for Jack's Pacific. I think as far back as the beginning. And just recently, he announced that he is leaving Jack's Pacific and World of Nintendo to go pursue other career opportunities and stuff. So that kind of was a surprise to some people, or at least it was a surprise to me, because I just feel like it came out of like left field. I wasn't expecting him to just get up and leave or whatever. That's kind of his thing, whatever. The point of this topic is not so much to talk about whether or not he should have stayed, because whatever, it's his life. He can do whatever he wants. But the topic is more so, what does this mean for World of Nintendo now? Because he was designing the figures and stuff before, and I'm pretty sure he must have been sculpting them too, because he was he's the designer, so he had a real creative handle in all that stuff. And now that someone else is going to come in, it kind of makes you question: are things going to change, and how are they going to change? So I guess with all the shenanigans that Jack's Pacific has done within the beginning of World of Nintendo, it's really hard to kind of pinpoint and say what's going to change and what's not. Because, like, I don't know. I'm just thinking about, like, I don't know, it's really hard, because, like, the most recent wave, for example, okay? Like, he wanted to do the Bowser Jr. with the Mario Sunshine bib, and we ended up getting, like, 2 Mario repaints. And, like, I don't really know, like, obviously the Bowser Jr. thing was, like, Nintendo's fault. They said you can't do that. And, like, the 2 Mario repaints, I mean, I don't know who thought that up. Maybe he thought it up. But, like, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't really think anything's going to change, I guess. Because, like, Nintendo is still going to deny the game-branded figures. They have the Mario molds that they can repaint as many times as they want. So, like, we're not going to get a different Mario sculpt or anything. I mean, the licenses are pretty set in stone. Like, I don't think a new guy is going to come in and be like, oh, yeah, let's get on those punch-out figures. Because, like, I assume they, the whole dev team has kind of an outline for what they want to do and when they want to do it. I don't think a product developer can just, decide to just change what they have going. So I don't think we're going to see, like, a wave of Captain Falcon and Pitt and Little Mac and, no. The only thing that might change is that, like, in retrospect, I guess sculpts might change. Like, the toy soldiers Little Mac sculpt might be different than, like, this new guy Little Mac sculpt. But that just comes down to, like, design. So, I mean, I don't think anything's really going to change, like, at all. It's just there's just a new guy, taking the head of it. But, like, that's not going to change marketing. It's not going to change. I don't think it's even going to change much. And, like, really, Target still has, like, no figures. I actually talked to Toy Soldiers when Jax was doing a Jax chat on Twitter a few weeks ago, and he said that Target had new, like, end displays, cardboard displays with all the figures and plushes and everything in it. I haven't seen those at Target, and that was, like, a few weeks ago. So, like, I mean, stores are still going to do the stupid stuff they're going to do, and, like, I don't think it's going to really change anything for World of Nintendo. Like, I just don't think it's going to change anything. But a topic that might be worth talking about to a greater extent is something that goes back to rare plushes and kind of all the cancers that come with rare merchandise and eBay and resellers and all that kind of stuff. And this is something I kind of just thought about recently for no reason. I'm not really sure how long it's going to be a topic for, like, on the stream right now. Like, because I guess I probably have one concise point to say about it, and then we'll be like, well, what else is there to say about it? But, like, I always talk about how, resellers and scalpers buy up cheap stock and then flip them for a profit and stuff. And while that's really bad, think about it this way. And I can't believe I'm even doing this because I'm not trying to spin the negativity of reselling and scalping into a positive. I'm not trying to spin it to a positive. But this does bring up an interesting point. At least when people scalp and flip, and then you have people who buy the scalped and flip stuff, at least it's exchanging hands and going through the market. That is not the case for a lot of really high-end plushes that are out there. Now, what I mean by this specifically is the Sonic the Fighters plushes. You see this a lot with Sonic the Fighters plushes. One auction in particular. If you go on eBay right now and type in Super Sonic the Fighters plush, you'll see a listing for a Super Sonic Fighters plush with, like a blue background. Like, the plush is there, and then the background of the thumbnail is, like, blue. And this item is coming from Japan, and it's $2,000. Now, I believe this eBay account is the eBay account of a Japanese, like, hobby shop kind of thing. So I don't think it's just someone being a troll, but I've never been able to really prove it either way. But for the sake of this, I mean, we'll say it's a shop and not a reseller. So for a really long time, that plush was sitting there for $2,000, okay? And I'm like, wow, no one's going to buy this. I really didn't think much of it. But just recently, it came to our attention that this seller actually has 3. And that's kind of why we say that, okay, it must be a shop that has 3 Supersonics, I don't think, I don't think a person could get 3 Supersonics, or wait, did I just, oh, yeah, okay. I'm, like, getting ahead of myself, confusing myself. Yeah, so that's what we were thinking. It's a shop because they have 3, okay? And the fact that they have 3 kind of hit me. It hit me in the sense of, like, wait a second now. This person not only has 1 Supersonic for $2,000 that's never going to sell, they have 3 Supersonics for $2,000 that's never going to sell. And what that means is that that's 3 Supersonics, 3 of them, that are kind of being held hostage and are never going to move in the marketplace and get into collectors' hands, or dare I say even resellers' hands. But that's an issue, that rare plushes like that, who's going to pay $2,000 for a Super Sonic Fighters plush? I've never, ever seen a Supersonic Fighters plush sell for $2,000, even on the Japanese market at auction. I've never seen that. So here we are, 2017, 3 really rare plushes, $2,000. The price has not budged in years. No one is going to buy those, and they've been sitting there for years. So what does that mean? It means this seller is going to sit on those 3 Supersonics, and that means 3 less are going to be out in the market. And this happens with a lot of Sonic the Fighters plushes. There's an auction I saw on eBay, and I'm not trying to call this out. I'm just using it as an example. So I'm just using it as an example. Someone is selling a Sonic and Knuckles fighter plush right now. It's a relatively new listing for, I think the bidding is over $1,000, and it's buy it now over $2,000. That is outrageous. Absolutely mind-boggling. No, there is no universe in existence in any kind of dimension where a Sonic and Knuckles fighter plush sell for over $1,000. No, it doesn't happen. So my point is that if this seller decides to keep the price at that price, like $2,000, $1,000, $2,000, and doesn't budge on it, they're going to keep those forever. And that's 2 less plushes that are out in the market. And that's a problem because this person obviously doesn't want them. They want to sell them. It's so high that no one's going to buy them. So the seller doesn't want them. The buyers can't buy them because of the price. And that results in less out on the market. And I can go on and on about every single fighter's plush. This is a thing about. And I'm sure there are other examples of plushes that are overpriced, ridiculously overpriced, that are never going to move in the marketplace. And I think that really sucks. That people can, whether it's maliciously or not, sit on rare plushes and just kind of not get them back out on the reselling market. So I don't know. That's just kind of dumb. It's just another thing to consider, with rare plushes in the collectible market and things like that. So I'm not. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm all for getting maximum value for your stuff. I'm not saying, oh yeah, sell that Fighter Sonic plush for $2 because it's worth it. Because no, okay, Fighter Sonic is not worth $2, but it's also not worth over $1,000. So it's really about finding the happy medium in between there, and not being a scumbag about it, and really leveling the buyer seller rare plush market and making sure that things operate smoothly. At least that's how I see it in my eyes. People are probably going to agree with me and not care or whatever, and people are going to continue to scalp and be malicious about it anyway. But that's how I see it. Is that keeping these products abundant enough in the market space is one thing to keep in mind. And I don't think this is really a problem yet, because rare plushes like fighters plushes pop up enough where you're never going to go years without seeing them. Like the RPG plushes is something that you really can go years without seeing. Fighters plushes not so much, but it brings up another point of where will there be a time, maybe 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, where people who want fighters plushes are just going to hold on to them. And I'm not saying that's oh, you shouldn't hold on to your Sonic Fighters plushes for more than 5 years at a time. After 5 years, you have to sell them. No. Okay, if you want the Fighters plushes, yeah, obviously, if I had Fighters plushes, I would never sell them either. But that's something to think about. Is there going to come a point where everyone who wants a Fighters plush has one, and they're not going to sell them, and there's going to be a market completely depleted of Fighters plushes? Could that happen in the future? Has it already happened with the RPG plushes? And yeah, there always probably will be people who, decide to get out of collecting, or, one randomly pops up from some random place. But generally speaking, a future where Supersonic plushes don't show up on the market at all could happen, because they're already scarce enough. And if enough people want them and don't want to let go of them, it could happen. So that was kind of an interesting point that I thought of this week. For some reason, I don't even know. Did I say why I thought of it? But I think it just kind of came to me random. Oh, well, because I think it was just a random thing I thought of. But yeah, collectibles. There you go. Yeah. So the only other thing that I really had to talk about was from Twitter, where I'm like, oh yeah, like I don't have any topics to talk about. Shoot me some topics. And Riala said something to some extent like, favorite. I should have looked at the comment again before I wrote it down from my head really vaguely, but I feel like favorite obscure gamer cartoon that I never really talk about or anything. I probably I'm trying to think about that specifically because like I feel like this could have tied into the Lost Media. Well, I mean, it could have tied into the Lost Media because it. I'm thinking about it, and it could have because I have something to talk about a obscure cartoon, but I can't say it because this video is actually the video I'm working on is actually about this obscure cartoon. So I actually cannot say what that was going to be. So I'll try and think about something else, like an obscure game or something. Or I'll even say like obscure collectibles. But maybe I've already talked about obscure collectibles before with like UFO plushes and stuff. Man, the topic really died because I can't talk about what I want to talk about. Because I just want the video to be a surprise, like a total surprise. Let me think of a game though. Maybe there's some obscure game that I'm not thinking about that like I enjoy playing that I haven't played in years or something. Man. Wow, this topic. I'm like looking at my clay and I'm like, all right, let me think of a game over here that I haven't played in years or Actually, okay, this might be a good topic to talk about. Hold up. Oh. Okay, wait. I was gonna say stuff about Toonami. There's some Toonami anniversary. March 17th was Toonami's, I think, anniversary. Was it their 20th actually? 20th anniversary. So I guess I don't need to talk about Toonami. That's not really obscure, but I was thinking about that because like I know that September 20th is its anniversary of leaving Cartoon Network. So I'm like, oh, okay, I think there was a March anniversary. And yeah, it was March 17th, though. Not March 20th. And it's not even March 20th anyway. What I was going to talk about, though, was something that I had written down a couple weeks ago. And see, this is what I mean by recycling content. I had this written down a couple weeks ago, but it was, I think, when I went off on some tangent about like some Mario Party plush or something. So I didn't get to it, but I'll talk about it now because it is pretty obscure. And I think this is kind of always a relevant topic. And actually, with Samurai Jack, being a thing now on Adult Swim, this kind of does all tie into that, and that's Sym-Bionic Titan. So Sym-Bionic Titan was a Cartoon Network action cartoon that premiered in the fall of 2010 and was taken off the air a few months later in the spring of 2011. And the thing I've always been interested about with Sym-Bionic Titan, aside from the fact that it's a great show, really good action show, the thing I've always been interested about is why it died so early and what happened to it and what went wrong with Sym-Bionic Titan. And I don't think the answer lies in Titan itself, like the show. I think it lies more in the intentions of the network, but also Genndy Tartakovsky, the series creator. And yeah, I've always kind of thought about this, especially now with Samurai Jack being back on Toonami. It makes me think about Sym-Bionic Titan, and does that have a chance of coming back? But more so, why did Titan die? It's always a topic. Always a topic. I really wish Sym-Bionic Titan did not go out the way that it did, because Cartoon Network promoted it a lot. I remember as far back as like that summer of 2010, they promoted Titan on their website. I think they did some Comic-Con stuff with it, and there was concept art for a really long time. I remember back in 2009 at the Cartoon Network upfronts, they would have concept art and stuff they would show of giant robots, and they say this show is coming to the network. And it took forever for Titan to actually get onto the network. But once they showed that first trailer, I was sold. From the concept art, I was sold because I thought it was just a really great idea of a show. And then once it premiered, I watched that every single week. Even when it changed stupid times to Saturday morning death slot where it died, I got up Saturday mornings and watched that show when the new episodes were on. It was a really great show. And when it was coming to an end, they were canceling, and I had heard they were canceling it. It really made me wonder, like, what the heck? Like, whoa, why? And there's been a little bit of discrepancy between what exactly happened. Now, I still think to this day, it's a combination of a few different factors. And some people think that it is more so a singular factor. Some things to take into account is how Cartoon Network is really all about the merchandise and marketing. And one of the things that I guess was said about Symbionic Titan is that the show, I'm trying to think how it was. The show couldn't be marketed, or yeah, rather, if they were to create a product line. Man, I'm trying to remember exactly what they said. It was something to the extent of like girls wouldn't want to play with Symbionic Titan figures. Like they couldn't market it to girls or something to that extent. So they couldn't go through with the merchandise, and that was a contributing factor to why it was canceled. Is because, well, like yeah, we could make merchandise, but it wouldn't sell to girls. So why even bother? And I was really surprised at that because Ben 10 had figure lines, and Thundercats had figure lines, and there were girl characters in those figure lines and stuff. So I don't understand, just because you make giant robot figures and stuff, like I don't know, like a girl wouldn't want to play with that. And even if like they wouldn't, I mean, the show is an action show anyway, and I think it was geared more towards males to begin with. I mean, if you just just generally speaking. So I don't really know where they even got that idea from, or why they thought that was an acceptable excuse. Another thing is that like Gendy, I said this was so long ago. I should have brushed up on this before I started talking about it, because I used to remember this like the back of my hand, but it's been years since I have really thought hard about it, like super hard about it. I just know like the vague stuff. Gendy was leaving the network at the time. I forget if he gave a reason. I mean, obviously it was to go work at Sony Pictures and stuff. I forget if that was his decision. It was his decision, but I forget if he said that was partly because Cartoon Network didn't want him anymore. They were downsizing or something. But my point is, a lot of people point to different factors. And what I think really happened is Gendy made a choice himself to leave Cartoon Network. He didn't want to be there anymore. He wanted to go work for Sony Pictures. So Cartoon Network, instead of looking like the bad guys and either saying like, oh, you have to stay, finish your show, or like yeah, get out of here, Gendy quickly wrapped up Titan, because Titan did get finished, but it was like the worst finale to any piece of animation or any like television, anything I've ever seen. It is the worst ending possible. So he, as quickly as he could, finished up Titan, and then he left. And then I think Cartoon Network, to make them seem like it was kind of a mutual thing, they're like, oh well, we wouldn't have been able to market a figure line anyway, so like not even a problem that he left. But I really think it was Gendy being like, guys, I don't want to do this anymore. And then Cartoon Network's like, well, what the heck? Fine, we'll just not make a figure line and say it was that. Like, it was definitely a combination, more so, with the points being on Gendy. Because like, I really feel like if they tried, okay, if in like, yes, Cartoon Network had their heads in their butt for like a really long time during this period, because I believe we were just kind of getting off the CN Real stuff at this point. If they really tried, and Gendy wanted to stick around and really develop Titan, Cartoon Network would have jumped on marketing. There's no way they wouldn't have. There's no way. They would have done something with it. Even if that just meant T-shirts. I mean, you can't tell me that Thundercats, which is more so an anime than an American cartoon, you can't tell me that Thundercats and marketing that was like an easier job than have they just done Titan stuff. Like, there's no way. And even Thundercats ended up dying out, because I don't even know why that. I literally forget why that happened, but I know it was a really stupid reason. Like, Cartoon Network just didn't want a season 3 or whatever. Because I remember there were some animators back around the time that it happened, and art directors that literally said, like, yeah, it's not picked up for season 3, and like, we don't know why. So Titan was really snubbed, and like, I really blame Gendy for why it ended the way that it did. And that sucks. That like really sucks. And I want to hold out hope that like maybe someday it will come back, either not so much on Adult Swim, but like it just could come back, because if Samurai Jack did, like, you know, maybe Titan could. And I think the Titan fan base is probably just as strong as it was back when it was canceled, because I mean, I don't think you're really losing any Titan fans, you know, right now. If anything, you'd just be gaining them with people who are like, oh wow, what's this really cool show that somehow I missed because I wasn't watching Cartoon Network for like a year and it was canceled within a year. So yeah, Titan. Cinematic Titan. With that said, though, yeah, that was all the topics that I had. That was definitely all the topics I had. Maybe it was better that I was running like 20 minutes behind with the troubleshooting difficulties, because, I mean, if it was only 7:40, yeah, I'd be like, man, my solo part is done right now. Like, what's to talk about? But I can go to comments now, I guess. I'm not sure if we're going to do Collins, though. I definitely want to go with comments for like at least a half an hour, and depending on how I'm feeling in a half an hour, maybe we'll do Collins. But I know I said I was going to last week, but I'm not sure if I'm really feeling it this week. Just because of all the technical, yeah, I need water. Just because all of the technical things that went wrong, and I would kind of much rather spend the time this week doing the video, getting that out for you guys, rather than like trying to do calls and having like the Hangouts crash and then just like I just have all these issues and stuff. I might just play it safe this week. But I guess we'll see. With that said, though, I want to turn to the comments and just read whatever's there. So here we go. Ed Mario 274 said, El Supersonic Q, can you do a video called The Mystery of the Unreleased Series 2 line of Mattel Simpsons figures, where you discuss about the canceled second wave of the Mattel Simpsons figures? I actually saw your comment earlier. I don't know. I would have to really think about that, because, as I said, doing certain mystery of videos in general, it has to be something I'm like super interested in. But going as far as merchandise, yeah, that would even be. I feel like that would be an even bigger stretch for me, especially not knowing, you know, how Mattel works or the circumstances for which they were canceled. I mean, I could do some research on it, but I'm not sure if like not knowing the company would hinder the video. So I'm not sure about that. Someone also asked me at some point about Ugly Doll plushes, and like that would also be a thing that I am not really into, and I'd have to like really search it up and get an understanding for the company. So I don't know. If I end up ever doing that, it would probably be a while from now. William Bogart said, "What's a super rare or expensive merchandise that you want out Supersonic Q?" I would say right now it's definitely the Sonic Adventure 2 Soap Sonic plush. That's really rare and expensive. There are a few different versions of it, but for me, I would really want a tagged, like 2001 Japanese Sonic Adventure 2 original release, which is like really hard to get tagged and like in mint condition, and it would go for a lot of money in mint condition. So rip that. But someday I would definitely like to have it, because Soap Sonic is my favorite soap. It's my favorite Sonic of all time, and the Japanese UFO plush just looks so good, and it's UFO and like all this stuff. So that would definitely be that. Connor Hardy said hi. Well, what's up, Connor? You seem like a new face to the stream, or at least you haven't commented before, so thanks for stopping by. The Foxtrot said, I remember the Secret Saturdays figures being a huge bomb for CN. They were at 99-cent stores by the boatload. It's possible that contributed to Cinematic Titans issue with March. Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of Secret Saturdays figures. And this is a thing, too, that, I don't know exactly how well Secret Saturdays was received. I guess with an indication of the figures, like, yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, where like they didn't want to go the same route with Secret Saturdays. And I think Secret Saturdays actually ended around the same time as Titan began. I think that was all in 2010, if I remember correctly. I mean, I know Titan was 2010. I think Saturdays may have ended in 2010, but like, I guess I can understand that. But to some extent, I mean, Cartoon Network has had tons of other flops before with merchandise opportunities and things like that. Um, and even if they had done like a web store exclusive kind of thing, I don't understand why nothing was made for Titan at all. Like they could have done, um, like resin statues for their website or something. And if those sold, done the figures, and if the statues didn't sell, then they no harm done. It would have just been one print of statues. But I'm sure there would have been people who would have bought those, or not even expensive resin statues, just like a vinyl figure of Titan. Put that on your site, see how many you sell. Because I think it was a big miss on their part. James Fast said, "What is your favorite Nintendo merch line?" Um, hmm. I feel like I never have answers for these, but like, I feel like I do have an answer, but I can never like remember what that answer. Oh, okay, yeah. Joyride Studios. I would say that's probably one. That's probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite. That was a early 2000s line of figures that had like Mario Sunshine Mario, Luigi's Mansion Luigi, and that's one of the reasons why I like it so much, is because it really was diverse with their character selection. Um, yeah, I guess I was saying with their Nintendo characters, but also their Sega characters and other properties. I mean, I would group that all into one line. I would count that as a Nintendo. Yeah, because Nintendo Power was a line. That was the Nintendo line. GamePro was like the Sega stuff. Nintendo Power was the Nintendo stuff. So I would probably say that, because some of the best figures, in my opinion, have come out of that line. Like the Mario Sunshine figure. Obviously, that's never going to happen again. They did a Samus figure, which is just a great looking figure. And Luigi's Mansion, so I'd say that. Um, hmm. Just going through comments. This is one of the reasons why I like doing the topics portion beforehand, because like, if you took all the silence that I had when I was going through trying to find a comment to read, it'd probably be like 10 minutes of just solid silence, from like every little instance that I'm trying to find a thing to talk about. Yeah, I missed a lot of comments. Okay, so I'll start here and just go down. So I'm like really behind in comments, but like, okay, we'll rock it. Piggy the Gamer said, "Have you played Parappa the Rapper, El Supersonic Q?" I have not, but it's a game that I wouldn't mind getting into, because I've really been trying to diversify my gaming library, and that's a game that I would definitely want to play. A while ago, I told my brother to download some kind of demo on his PS4. I don't know if it was an HD version, like remaster, or if it was a new game. I don't know what it was, but it was some kind of demo. He never downloaded it, so I haven't played it. But at some point, I would like to play Parappa the Rapper. Lemon King 361 said, "El Supersonic Q, how do you feel about your older videos?" This is actually an interesting question, but maybe this was actually what I was going to talk about when I was talking about my videos in like the first topic, and I said, "Oh, was there something else I was going to say? I don't remember." This may have actually been that, and that's my older videos. That's something that that hmm. It's really hard to point my finger, put my finger on my older videos. I guess to answer the question specifically, I really don't have a problem with my older videos. I think at the time they were made to the best of my ability, given my editing software and my talents and stuff. So I definitely don't think they're bad, and I wouldn't take them down from my channel. Like they don't look bad. Um, but to a greater extent, I almost want to take that idea of older videos, um, and kind of spin it to like older video ideas. And what I'm getting at is like, I almost feel like when I talk about my old videos, it makes me feel like a sellout. And I say that because my old videos, for people who don't know, because a lot of people don't know about my oldest videos, it was mostly animations, sculptures, um, what else was I doing? I think that was primarily it. Animations and sculptures, some collectible stuff, but like a lot of it was series I haven't even touched in a long time, but like I have tons of episodes for. Like the In-Depth series is one of my oldest ongoing series where I showcase my clay figures, and you can find playlists of this all on my channel. My clay tutorial series is like another really old series. Like a lot of my channel used to be about clay and animations and art, and I still like to think that my channel is rooted in that and based in that. But I don't know how it happened or where it happened, but I kind of just said at some point, like, I'm done with, not done with art, but like, I just don't want to do art videos anymore. And I don't really know, like I said, I don't know why that happened or how it happened, but like, when people talk about my old videos, it's something that always makes me feel like weird because I like my old videos and I'm not ashamed of them. I guess, like I said, I like them and I would definitely show people them. And I've left them on my channel for that reason. But when I talk about old videos, I almost feel like it's an entire era that I purposely killed. Even though like I didn't really mean for that to happen. Um, but another part of that too, and I guess it's kind of getting off on a tangent, but I do think it's kind of important to highlight as well, is that like, um, to some extent, like, I'm trying to think of how to word this, like, the lost media videos, like, well, first off, I'm interested in lost media. I like cartoon pilots. I like doing videos talking about that and letting people know about it and the journeys I have with it. But to some extent as well, they're videos that are like guaranteed to get views. And I almost want to say, isn't that to some extent the goal of YouTube? To, get a fan base, get views, get people to see your work. And while yes, my clay was getting, views and stuff at the time, just recently when I posted that Donkey Kong Country segment from Video Game Clay Figure Models 11 2 years ago, a lot of my newer subs haven't seen that, okay? And that video has like 200 views, okay? Yet the Meso Blues video, which I posted like a day or two later, already has over 1,000 views. And it's like, am I setting myself up for failure by doing sculptures, and having that be the base of my channel? Wouldn't it make more sense to do the lost media videos that get more views? And like, if I really didn't like lost media, because like, yeah, I could make clickbait top 10 videos and like really dumb videos. So obviously, I'm not a sellout in that regard, and I'm not just making content that's going to get clicks. I enjoy lost media. I enjoy talking about cartoon pilots, and I like perpetuating that information to people who don't know it already. And even people who do know it, maybe they just want to see my take on something. So, to that extent, it's a positive, and I wouldn't be making them if I didn't like lost media videos. But in the process of doing that, I really do feel like I abandoned the clay and like, I changed the direction of my channel. So I don't know. That's just how I feel, I guess. But enough about that. Soma said, "Hail, Supersonic Q. Do you like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I messed that up. Crystal Pepsi? No, nope. I don't even think I've ever had Crystal Pepsi. I don't even know if I've ever had a Pepsi. I know I've had Coke before. I don't know if I've ever had Pepsi. So, Edited Eddie Fan 97 said, "Why are the Sonic plushes from 1991 so rare?" Um, the ones that I know of are from like 92, I think, right? Or okay, there probably are 91 plushes, but the Sega Sonic set is like 92. They're really old. Or actually, honestly, I guess it depends what set you're talking about. The Sega Sonic set really isn't that hard to find. There are some other plushes from around that time, like the basket plushes and like the Sonic or the Sega Sonic like sports set of plushes that are really rare that like never come up, but like the Sega Sonic ones are pretty common. So it depends on the set. But generally speaking, I guess it's just because they're rare and they're Japanese and not a lot of them are really available to the American market constantly. Amazing John said at L Supersonic Q, what should the time or blah, what should oh my gosh. What should the title for the theme of The Chosen One be? Man, I'm really bad with thinking of titles and things off the top of my head, so I have to give some thought to that. The Bryax said, have you seen the Mega Man cartoon trailer? I didn't watch the new one because when Pat Mac linked it to me, it didn't load. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. But no, I haven't seen it. But from what I've seen before with assets and various artwork, I expect it to be bad. The whole concept is bad. Oh, that was a that was a really good topic. Maybe I'll save it for next week because I don't want to get off on a whole tangent about it now. But it was the need or the desire to drastically alter source material so much that the final product becomes a shadow of what the original vision was. That kind of spawned from the Death Note trailer that Netflix released, but I really don't want to get off on a whole tangent about that. I'll save that topic for next week. It'll be a good topic. Source material. Um, Quentin TQ with the UFO prizes always look good. Oh yeah, UFO prizes are really good. Like they're just that whole era of plush collecting and merchandise is really really great. Like even the things that look kind of inaccurate are still like really charming. Uh, well, Lemon King said, "What videos do I plan on doing?" I think earlier in the stream I mentioned that we got another Lost Cartoon pilot coming up. Then what did I say? A mystery of spinoff, some clay stuff, and yeah, I think that's kind of what does it. Cartoon pilots, mystery of spinoff, and clay is kind of what we're looking at for the next few weeks. Neko Got Swag said, "What do you think about the 2016 Powerpuff Girls?" Yeah, I think that's what you mean by that. PPG. Um, Originally, I thought I was missing out on a really good show because I had seen advertisements and heard that it was gonna air again, and I'm like, oh man, like what the heck? Like I haven't been watching this. Like man, I gotta get on that. I'm really missing out. And then when I actually watched it and found out what it truly was, oh, that talk about source material that's different. That yeah, ooh, I don't know what they were thinking with that. And then what do I think about the unreleased Foster toys? Like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. What unreleased toys were there for that? Because I am unaware. Riala said, "El Supersonic Q, you should do a video on Sega World Sydney in the same vein of your Mystery of Prototype video." Sega World, just like Sega World Sydney as a whole, or like the merchandise from it. Oh, you probably mean as a whole. That would be interesting. Sega World Sydney is pretty mysterious. I was mostly thinking about that puppet show that has no video footage. That's what I was thinking of when I was, when you said Sega World Sydney. That's the first thing I think of is that puppet show that only has audio and no video. Quick Up changed his name to Bill Cipher Rules. Nice. I hate when I just scroll down a little bit and then it just jumps the comments like ridiculous. I am really behind this, so I could just scroll to the bottom in a bit. Cause like yeah, I'm like really, really far behind. Oh my gosh. I'm like super far behind. Uh Lemon King style Super Sonic Q. What's your favorite Sonic game? SA2, without a doubt. I guess SA2 be on GameCube, but yeah, without a doubt that game. Everything is Awesome Studios said, "I made custom Lego Link and Zelda figures." Nice. Now see, that's still a market of customs that we need pieces to be made for because we're probably not going to get Lego Nintendo figures. So that's pretty sweet. Hmm. Oh, Everything is Awesome Studios also said I got up at 6 to play Splatoon 2. Oh yeah, wasn't there? Isn't there? Wasn't yeah? It was. It is wasn't. Wasn't there a test fire for that? Because I had seen some stuff about it. That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know anything about Splatoon or anything about the test fire, but that's some dedication. I remember playing the original Splatoon test fire. It was kind of fun, but definitely nothing to get me hooked onto the series. So getting up at 6 to play Splatoon, that is some dedication. Now, see, I get up at 6 to play Smash Switch or like Melee HD. That would happen. JTV wants me to do Collins. I really don't know if I'm going to do Collins tonight. I really don't know if I feel like it. Not another gaming channel said El Supersonic Q. What do you have planned for 3K? Probably nothing. I might do some kind of video that I kind of like. I don't know. Just be like, hey guys, I'm at 3K. Um, yeah. But other than that, nothing specific. I'm just gonna stick to my original plans for videos, my original schedule, and just keep going with the mystery stuff. And then the clay, and then like we'll see what happens as we get further into spring. Oh, the Captain Underpants movie. That's right. I actually did watch the I watched the trailer for that, and from what I saw, it looked good. But kind of to go back to the source material, I don't remember the book being as crazy as the trailer was, but it's still pretty faithful. The animation style is pretty good, so I can imagine some fanboys maybe complaining about it. But I mean, I guess it's I guess it's just Captain Underpants. But SM Nick Production said someone asked me what 9 plus 10 is in 2017. I just said it was a dead meme. It's a pretty good response to that. Piggy the Gamer is gonna get a Parappa, yeah, a Parappa plushie soon. Nice. Is that the new one from like? I know there's like a new small one that exists, but I've seen some UFO catcher ones that I actually want to get my hands on at some point, but haven't been able to find them for a good price, and I don't really have money to spend on those right now. Edit 9597 said, "Is Rinkia trustworthy?" I don't have experience with Rinkia, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I mean, it's a legitimate site, if that's what you mean. But if you were to order from there, I wouldn't exactly know how well they do business. Next sweater said, "El Supersonic, you invite Gendy on this stream." I remember that a few weeks ago he did the that Adult Swim stream for Samurai Jack's premiere. He like live streamed. You could call into the show or to his stream and stuff. I thought about calling in, but by the time I decided to do it, they had ended because I guess I had just caught the end of it. But Gendy would not join one of these streams. Ed Mario said, "El Supersonic, you blame it on George. Just uploaded a video on top 10 more updated pieces of Lost Media a few days ago." Oh, really? Can someone give me a list of those? Because I don't really plan on watching the video, or I mean, maybe it's some, or I don't know. I haven't watched George's videos in a long time, um, and I don't. I'm curious. Can someone make a list of the pieces he talks about in that? Because yeah, I'd like to know like right now. JTV said, "Can I host? Can I co-host part of the stream?" I mean, I told you that next time we did viewer call-ins, you could, but I really don't know if we're going to do them this week, just because um, I just don't know if I feel like doing them. But like next time we do it, Everything is Awesome Studios said there's a possibility of there being a Legend of Zelda Lego set. I mean, is there like a solid possibility? Because I hadn't heard of that. James Fat said, "Did you hear about the Castlevania show coming to Netflix?" I think I did. Someone mentioned it a few weeks ago. I thought it was live action, but turns out it's like anime. So it's going to be like, I imagine like the Bayonetta anime or something like that. That's pretty hype, I gotta say. But like Richter Belmont is not going to be in it, which is so disappointing. But like, man, I think it's because I think it's based on Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, but it'll still be cool to watch. So I'll probably still watch it. That's really cool. Video game anime is always cool. Oh, next Twitter wants the Sega Sonic set, and some of them are on eBay for cheap prices. At 97 said, yeah, they're really not too hard to get. The only thing is the cheap ones on eBay. Some of them are from some resellers who I would not recommend you give your money to. There are a couple people that I think have them up that you could buy from, but I know there's one person in particular um, that you should not give your money to. So make sure that it's not one of those scalper resellers. Wow, I missed like so many comments. Like, man, like so many comments. Jeez. Okay. The Foxtrot said, "El Supersonic, what do you think of At Games' Sega flashback systems? They're the budgeted ones released for the holidays. Are those the ones that like you go to Target and find? Because if so, I actually used to have a lot of respect for them, but now I kind of don't because, well, first off, like, okay, I thought like the idea is cool. Like, okay, and it can play real Genesis carts, so like, okay, that's cool. It comes loaded with good games, like, yeah. But like, aren't like only half the games Sega games, and then the other like half of the 80 games are like really strange, like childish, like throwaway, like kind of like generic maze game and like generic platformer game and generic race game. It's like, why are those on like a Sega console? Like that's like who's gonna play them? So like I thought those systems were really cool until I learned of that. And then I'm like, what the heck? Like, why are those there? Ed Mario said, remember the Kubrick Sonic toys? Yeah, I have the whole set of that. Yeah, I remember that. Some good stuff. Ed Mario said, anyone heard of the Parappa Rebirth? Oh, was that the demo that I was talking about earlier? It may have been the demo. I'm not even sure. I've heard of the Crash Bandicoot reboot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Insane trilogy or something. Yeah, yeah, I've heard of that. Not the Parappa stuff. Piggy the Gamer said the only thing that I don't like about the movie is that George and Harold are voiced by adults. Why couldn't they have kids voice them like in the Peanuts movie? You know, that's actually a really good point. When I was watching the trailer, um the yeah, I don't know if it's George or Harold, whatever, but Kevin Hart, I could pick out his voice. I'm like, wait, why is Kevin Hart doing the voice for like a kid? Yeah, yeah, like you can pick that out. You can hear that. Yeah, they should have got some kids or something to do that. I'm not really sure why they decided against that. So that's a good point. Mario 64 found a site that says or that's has animation cells for $2. Might be too good to be true. That sounds too good to be true. Ed Ed Netty fan. I remember when I thought box anime was legit. Maybe the gamer said me too. Well, Riala said he put a day with SpongeBob at number one. Like should give you an idea of what was on the list. Oh, hmm. Well, not really. Not really. How many times is he going to update a day with SpongeBob though? I mean, that is such an old thing. Ed Mario said George said that a day with SpongeBob didn't exist, so it will be removed from Lost Media Wiki. Oh, what? Oh, I hope they don't actually go through with that because I've always been against doing that kind of thing. Okay, on Lost Media Wiki. Okay, just recently there was a article for like a fake game that we found out was like fake. It was just a troll. So like I can understand removing an article like that, but when I debunked Kablam episode 29 and Angry Beavers Cuff together, um, I didn't want those articles deleted because they were there for informational purposes. And A Day with SpongeBob, even though it doesn't exist, and it's not so much as like a hoax like Kablam episode 29. But like for a day with SpongeBob, even though it doesn't exist, I don't think that article should be deleted because it kind of it's different than Kablam episode 29 in its fakeness, but in the same breath, it still holds the same weight of information for people who want to know about it. So I hope they don't delete the article. I have a lot of issues with the Last Media Wiki and like the the logistics of their site. So if they delete the article, I'll be really mad about that. Oh yeah, yeah, GE is dead. That was a topic from a few weeks ago. Rihanna might be getting a Dreamcast for their birthday. Nice. I must say, like every stream that I wish I had a Dreamcast. Oh yeah, yeah, the Mario Party 5 plush with the mustache Eddie fan. Yeah, that is yeah, that's the guy you shouldn't buy from. I don't know why I'm even not even calling him out. I would somebody stream, who cares? Not a Chico Japan. Don't buy from them ever. If there's one person you want to avoid from on eBay, it's them. Do not buy from them. Because yeah, they're the ones selling that mustacheless Mario, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, yeah, okay, it's in a lot of four other characters. It's not just Mario for like that much money, but like, you even had the brain power to think about buying a mustacheless Mario and then flipping it. Like, are you kidding me? Like, come on now. James Fat bought the Genesis Portable. And it had terrible in the what? I bought the Genesis Portable and and it was terrible. The battery failed, the sound quality was terrible, and the screen was starting to fall out, so I just returned it. Oh man, that sucks. Jeez. I didn't know they were like that bad. Valkyrie said El Supersonic Q, I got a Mario clip-on plush from JCPenney for $5. Oh, that's pretty cool. Is that the Jack specific new one? Because that's the only Mario clip plush I can think of. The Foxtrot Lost Media Lost from Lost Media Wiki. There actually is a thread about lost articles, I think, on the forums. Because yeah, I mean, like, what purpose would they have to remove the article? Like, yeah, it's not real, but I mean, like, because like I said, with that mindset, you'd have to remove every article that we debunked as fake, and that's just information that should be there. Because like, what person? Say someone heard about Kablam episode 29. If you type in Kablam episode 29, I'm pretty sure Lost Media Wiki is like the first thing that comes up. So like, boom, there you go. All the information's right there. It's all fake, you know? And without that, like, where are you going to go to learn that it's fake? You know? Like, oh, and Mario said Lost Media Wiki actually has a few joke articles that haven't been removed yet. Yeah, some of them seem to get through pretty well. The thing I was mentioning earlier with the what was it? The fake game that had been up for a year before we noticed that it was there and that it was fake. So yeah, some stuff gets through. Oh, and then reality said, yeah. Plus, it's a day with SpongeBob is a really important piece of Lost Media, even if it doesn't exist. Yeah, it's important to be on the site for sure. I agree, Sandy Moody. And at a 97. Yeah, I agree with that. Valkyrie said El Supersonic Q. Yes, it's the Jax one. I was thinking about getting Luigi. Isn't like the Jack specific Luigi clip really like ugly? Like the nose is really small, I think. I've seen that before in Toys R Us. It was like really bad. Oh, Gino Kirby said, hello, I'm new here. Well, what's up, Gino Kirby? Thanks for stopping by to the LSSQcast. Valkyrie said, El Supersonic Q. I also got Mighty Number 9 and Mega Man and Star Wars Battlefront for DS from GameStop, all used and all worked. Oh, that's good. Some of those games. Oh, yeah, I guess they still sell DS games. JTV said, El Supersonic Q, did you hear that the Lost Media Archive was spammed with fake articles? I did not hear about that, but that's actually funny. Like, that's good because I don't like Lost Media Archive because. So for people who don't know, because you might not, Lost Media Wiki and Lost Media Archive, at one point in time, they were actually one entity, and it was just Lost Media Wiki. And, you know, all the... I don't know how to explain this the best. Okay, so there's right now, there's Lost Media Archive and Lost Media Wiki. Lost Media Wiki is a website. Lost Media Archive is like a .wikia. At one point in time, the Lost Media Wiki people were on Lost Media Archive, and the whole thing was called Lost Media Wiki, like .wikia. Something happened where there was a power struggle between like the head of Wikia and the head of Lost Media Wiki. So eventually, the head of Lost Media Wiki is like, well, fine, like I don't need your site. I'll go off site. And he made his own website, lostmediawiki.com, which is what we use now. Pretty much everyone everyone migrated from lostmediawiki.wikia to lostmediawiki.com. And there was this really weird like clashing of ideas between whether or not lostmediawiki.wiki people wanted to stay on that site, and then lostmediawiki.com people wanted the new site and stuff. Long story short, everyone, for the most part, who was on the Lost Media Wiki.wikia when it was Lost Media Wiki moved over to the website. Lost Media Wiki.wikia became Lost Media Archive. Really disgusting site, I have to say. Just very, very, like, I don't even go on there. Except I don't even know, like, like I don't go on there, but like sometimes when I'm looking for stuff on like videos and stuff, that site will come up and I'll purposely click it to see what it looks like now, and like it just, the articles are just disgusting and the comment section is disgusting compared to the real lostmediawiki.com that we have now. So yeah, hearing it was spammed with fake articles, I mean, that just goes to show you how bad it is. Oh, JTV originally thought Lost Media Wiki was a virus. I mean, when I first started, the whole power struggle thing between the archive and wiki was like kind of just beginning, and the lostmediawiki.com site hadn't even fully opened yet. So I was on the lostmediawiki.wikia when it was still Lost Media Wiki. But then I moved over eventually. Um, the Sponge 27 said, I do think three dudes may exist. It's just not related to Ed and Eddie. I think I think if it exists at all, it's some kind of like, I guess kind of like what you said, it's unrelated to Ed and Eddie, but what I think to more extent is that someone just like saw it and then like really, really distorted what they thought it was. I mean, if you are under the impression that it exists, personally, I'm not. I don't think it exists. I think it was just a rumor that people had come up with. But I guess maybe there's a possibility at some point that it may have, like, maybe it was just some kind of like thing people took out of context. I don't know. I don't really think it exists, but you know. Ed Mario said, I'm taking pictures of a few fake Last Media Wiki articles just in case they get taken down. Okay. I don't think fake articles, or, oh, fake like Kablam episode 29. If that's what you mean by fake, then yeah, do that. If you mean just like troll articles, I don't think that's really worth saving. Lemon King speedruns Mario 64. That's pretty cool. I've been interested in some speedrun stuff pretty recently. So Mario 64, that's pretty awesome. I could never speedrun though. I wouldn't have the patience or the skill for it. Gino Kirby said, "I wish World Nintendo had a Kirby line, but I understand that they can't do it because of HAL Labs copyright to pay at the same time as Nintendo's copyright." Yeah, that's exactly the reason why they can't do it, because it's not part of the Nintendo like generic license. That would be really cool though if we did see a Kirby line, because I mean, just Kirby and Meta Knight and DDD, like even just like the Smash reps, that would be really cool to see in like Jack specific action figure form in scale with the other characters. I hope someday maybe it can happen, but like Kirby lines have been doomed for a really long time in America, so I would kind of doubt that is going to happen, especially with like the amiibos existing, the Kirby amiibos. Like Nintendo probably figures if someone's going to want a Kirby something, they're just going to get the amiibos. So, hmm. Valkyrie said, "I'll supersonic you. I'm Johnny Quasar." Some people were actually talking about that not too long ago in the Lost Media Discord. Yeah, I probably should have done this to begin with. Wait, you found the Jimmy Neutron pilot? No, you didn't. There's no way. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, Runaway Rocket Boy is a thing, but um, you didn't find Johnny Quasar. I haven't even heard of anyone finding that. Um, oh, Gino Kirby said, "Are you a designer on World of Nintendo? I don't understand the title of the stream." Yeah, because the actual no, I'm not. I don't work at Jack specific, but the original um, World of Nintendo designer is stepping down, and someone else is taking his spot. So, new designer meaning like a new person has stepped in. Hey, I'd be down for designing World Nintendo any day. Jax, hit me up because I'll work for you. But yeah, no. Oh, Lemon King set a new record on in Mario 64 today. Oh, like a personal best? That's pretty cool. Ed 97 said, "Imagine if a Metal Mario plush by Ben Presto becomes more common." Yeah, those are really hard to find. I forget who even said it earlier, but someone said that they had one. I'd need to see a picture before I believe that, because oh man, throwback to last summer. Shaw, what a guy. He has Gino, you guys know. Or Mallow, or I forget what it was. Um, yeah, Ed Mario said Johnny Quasar's dad made an appearance in the Jimmy Neutron 1998 pilot. I don't believe he actually, or he may have. See, there's so much we don't know about the pilot yet, because like there are those pictures, but the actual pilot is said to be 40 seconds long, so I'm not exactly sure how they would have fit like his parents into that. The parents, from my understanding, are just like a promotional image. So, oh, Toaster Hit Tunes said, "Hi, I just joined. Thanks for stopping by." Oh, Ed Mario's talking about Runaway Rocket Boy. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Johnny Quasar hasn't been found. Um, what if Jazzwares made a supersonic, like a supersonic plush reality? Yeah, that would have been something. Valkyrie said, "Oh, supersonic Q. My Walmart always has a Metal Mario plush." Huh? That's pretty good. He's on the rarer side of plushes, so that's good. Do you know Kirby said? I remember that Fox Interactive wanted to make an animated Croc Legend of Gobos cartoon because they loved the character so much when they published the game. But as far as I know, it was never made. Huh? That's actually interesting. I might look into that because that sounds interesting. Oh, the Sponge 27 revised their statement and said it may exist. They're not fully committed to believing that it does, but it might. Fair enough. Everything is Awesome Studios is still waiting for Splatoon 2 plushes. The Sentai Splatoon plushes look pretty good, honestly. I thought about getting a couple, but I really don't like Splatoon. Oh, I don't even want to think about Jack Specific and all their repaints because we're going to get Inkling colors for every single color from both genders. That's going to suck. Oh, Valkyrie said El Supersonic Cube, but the one thing that triggered me about the Metal Mario was no tag. Oh, that sucks. Okay, yeah, that's pretty triggering. I agree with that. Yeah, Tommy Soap Sonic would be really cool. Yeah, and the Tommy stuff. Yeah, that's all the modern stuff is like delayed. That really sucks. Because like that should have been out already, like back in February, and it's like March, and it's still not on the shelves. So that's crazy. What if Tommy made an SA1 and SA2 line? Real said that would be so perfect. Like literally, like that would be the peak of Tommy. That might be the peak of the Sonic merchandise franchise. Yeah, that would be insane. I always think that someday some like Japanese Figma company or something is gonna make a Sonic Adventure polygonal Sonic figure. It's gonna be posable and all that stuff. Maybe someday, maybe or maybe not. Probably not, which sucks. I'm also still getting comments with people who are like disputing the proof of like the debunking teenage Gary thing. Like it doesn't exist. Oh, okay? The comments. Okay, did the comments just like completely die? I remember like a couple months ago. I think for some reason the comments just straight up stopped loading. Let me like refresh the page because I maybe no one's commenting, but like I don't know. I don't want like a repeat of that again. So let me refresh. I yeah, freaking YouTube. Yeah, the comments just stopped. Great, good job, YouTube. Eddie Fan 97 said, "Remember when there was a Fang plush on eBay for $100? I do remember that. Very, very sad." Uh, hmm. And Mario said, "El Supersonic, you just finished taking pictures of the Kablam episode 29 article. All right, nice." JTV said, "El Supersonic, you when is there going to be a stream that I can co-host?" I don't know. Just the next time I do one, you can. I just don't know when that's going to be. I guess it ended up not being tonight. Good spam, guys. What if they made a night set and put it in a UFO catcher in Japan only and barely made any and everyone bought them up and sold them? Regala said, "Hey, what if that happened? Now all we need is a Super Sonic the Fighters Sonic Plush for $14 on eBay." Edit Eddie Fan 97 said, "Yeah, that'd be disastrous. I think. I don't even know what would happen there because you either get someone who takes it and resells it, or some. I don't. Oh, that man, that would really fluctuate the market on that one. Spam tastes good. I think I had spam once, and I didn't like it. Not another gaming channel. Pat Mac with the yellow Sonic toy with 2 additional Ys with spaces in between them. $1. Yeah, that's what the listing would look like, right? And Mario wants some more fake Lost Media articles. Get Angry Beavers cuffed together. That's fake. I don't know if they're gonna even delete that though, or like why they would bother deleting that. Neko got swags at favorite sports team. I don't really like sports, so I don't. I don't have one. I really don't like sports. It's just, yeah. Gino Kirby said Sonic the Fighters plushes need to be back to today's toy hour for Sonic's 25th anniversary. Dude, if they reprinted Sonic the Fighters plushes, I feel like people would still want the originals though. Like, yeah, I don't know. That'd be really weird because, like, yeah, okay, I'd be able to get like a Super Sonic, but like knowing that you have the original, it would be like crazy. Next sweater. I only Pat Mac is going to be the mod. I think I'm going to end soon anyway. Ed Mario said, "Oh, you took a picture of Cuffs Together. Cuffs Together, Kablam, A Day with SpongeBob. I mean, I can't think of any other things off the top of my head. JTV's saving my channel in the Wayback Machine. All right, that's cool." Lemon King said, "Can I subscribe to him?" I'll check out your channel if you have good content. I can. Like, yeah, I don't know. You gotta like, I don't know. You gotta like earn subscribers. I don't generally. I don't like when people just say, "Oh, sub me," because it's like, well, if I don't like your content, then like, why would I sub you? But I'll see. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have videos. Maybe you don't have videos. I don't know. I'll look at your channel and see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go until 9, and then probably end. Everything is awesome. Studio said, "What if Sega reprinted every rare Sonic plush series ever?" Wow. See, I'd take like an SA2 Soap Sonic repress, but like something like Fighters, I feel like you got to get the originals. All right, I'll check your guys' channels out, and if I like what I see, I'll sub. But I mean, not I can't even open anything else up during the stream right now, or else it'll lag the stream. Ed Mario said, "Taking pictures of the article for Davis SpongeBob is going to be a pain." Honestly, the prices are ridiculous for Japanese UFO Sonic plushes. It depends at an Eddie fan. Sometimes they can be. Hmm. Well, I think with that said, might call it a night here. Actually, is it 9 o'clock or is it my clock is like I don't know if like my computer clock is off or not. Oh no, it must be accurate. It's not too fast or too slow anymore. Hmm. Stewie Griffin just joined. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to call it quits for tonight. I think so. Yeah, bad timing, I guess. Oh, JTV is doing an after stream. You guys go check that out. Huh. Sandy Moody said, "Have you ever bought a, or have I ever bought anything from a scalper?" Not like that I can think of off the top of my head, because by the time I figured out that people on eBay did that, I Like I knew what to look for. So I don't think I've ever really done that. No. Hmm. I'll go like legitimately until it's set. Wow, you guys. I never even said. I never even said. Oh, maybe the stream is behind for some people. I'll go until my clock strikes 9, and then that's gonna be it. So 2 minutes. Lemon King with a really aggressive comment. Yeah, so we get 2 minutes to do whatever. Even though I don't know. Even though it started late, I feel like we covered everything. Well, I guess we did. Oh yeah, Sandy Moody said, "Whatever happened to the Yoshi? Did you ever get an RPG plush?" I did not, as Ed and Eddie fan pointed out. Oh, no problem, Foxtrot. Thanks for stopping by. And same thing with you, Ed Mario. No problem. I don't hate Kakarot. Wow. Next sweater. Riala's friend is writing a Kakarot fanfiction. I would say that's a one way to make this the greatest 2 minutes of all time, as not another gaming channel said. Yeah, I'll probably get another. I'll probably never get an RPG plush like ever. Thoughts on Mario Paint? It's pretty clever and creative, um, but I don't really see myself ever needing to play it. Well, my clock says 9 p.m. So with that, I think I'm going to call it a day, or rather a night. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Another stream next week, I believe. So until then, Mel Supersonic Q, Finn.